Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 1614, written by Maxwyfe. I know the future. I know death. I occasionally get flashes or visions of things that happen again later. Recently, I had a specific conversation at work. This was not a normal or routine conversation like, did we get any mail? It was an unusual circumstance that led up to it, so I knew how it was going to go down, and it did exactly that way. On the creepy end of the spectrum, I saw myself at a friend's funeral while he was still alive. He died unexpectedly a few weeks later. I knew that a client of mine would die within a year, and he did. At the time, he appeared perfectly healthy, but within the year he was diagnosed with cancer and passed away. I know that one cloudy morning, I will get the call in my car that my stepfather has passed away. He's in his 70s and suffers from Parkinson's, so this one isn't that paranormal, I don't think. The creepiest one has yet to be fulfilled, and that is an image I have of a blue pickup truck on the wrong side of the road, coming straight at me. Case file 1614. I know the future, I know death. That ending, whoa. To bear witness in a vision, where other visions have come true, of your own death. Well, maybe of your own death, but maybe you can use this to your advantage. Now you know what to look for, and hopefully when the time comes, you can swerve out of the way, unless you are in the passenger seat. But let's not go there. I'll just say you have an incredible ability, and I know you'll find a way to live a long life. Case file number 1615, written by makeskidskill, the freckle that collapsed my mind. My wife has a freckle on the palm of her hand. It was under her left thumb, about the size of a pea. I love that freckle. Would kiss it, name it, joke around about it. We've been together 20 years. We got married when we were 21, back in 1994. About 2 months ago, I was looking at her hands and her freckle was gone. What happened to your freckle? What freckle? I get a little freaked out and say the one you've always had on the palm of your hand. I grab her hand and look closely, and there's a faded scar where the freckle was. She tells me she had a freckle there and that she had it removed about a year before she met me. She said it popped up really quickly and it freaked her and her mom out because it appeared so fast, and they had it removed and tested for melanoma, negative. I remember that freaking freckle. I remember kissing it and touching it when I would hold her hand. Like I said, this happened 2 months ago and I cannot shake the feeling that somehow my consciousness slipped sideways into a very, very similar universe to the one I started out in. But I feel like the people around me aren't really the people I used to know. It's very disconcerting. And if I didn't have really awesome compartmentalization skills, I could see this really driving me crazy in short order. If you like watching reaction content to shows someone has never seen before, then check out my second channel, link in the description. Now onto the notes. Case file number 1615. The freckle that collapsed my mind. That is one of the more unsettling aspects of quantum immortality. Or even if you know about quantum immortality, or you suspect it's real, you're shifting timelines, realities, in the multiverse ocean. Well, yeah, okay, cool, you're still alive. But you're in a different place. It doesn't quite feel like home. And then you have to question just how real are the people that you love? Your friends, your family, your wife. Is she still the same person? Yeah, to an extent, but a lot of who we are is shaped by our past events. So if those events are different, even slightly, it can absolutely have an impact on our personality. Even if every copy of us shares the same soul, and they're connected in some way, the personality will still be different. It'll still be grounded in the soul. The soul has the greatest influence, I think. You know this from people experiencing the same thing in their life path and yet turning out differently, because the soul still matters. But those events influence, no doubt about it. So yeah, it's not unusual and it's not wrong to feel like something isn't right. Because, at least for you, it'll take a while to get used to the new wife. I do believe you fell in love with her soul, so don't fret. You'll fall in love with her new personality, even if it's slightly different. Case file number 1616, written by glitterrage, the girl with 2 names. Last year, I volunteered at a day camp. One of the volunteers there in the first week was a woman a little older than me named Leah. The first day I met her, I knew it'd be easy to remember, because she actually had the same accent and a similar look to someone I knew before named Leah. We wore name tags every day. I spent the second day sitting across from her at a table. I know her name was Leah. There was another girl my age called Ellie. She didn't volunteer much in the first week. She looked very different from Leah. I didn't interact with her as much as I did with Leah, but I knew who she was and what she looked like. Remember, we all had name tags. It was easy. Day 1 of the second week, Leah is working, Ellie is not. The director says something to Leah and calls her Ellie. I thought to myself how embarrassing that was for the director, but Leah did not correct her, and then I hear it again. And the next time I work face to face with Leah, her name tag says Ellie. I'm telling you, for the next 3 weeks of camp, Leah and Ellie, I never saw Ellie again. But there was Leah in Ellie's name tag, with no one else noticing the change. The Leah name tag stayed in our name tag bin, and there was never a Leah again. People dismiss this, and it sounds ridiculous. The very obvious answer is me mistaking the woman's name that first week because I associated her with someone else I knew. But I know Ellie was Leah that first week. We wore our name tags all the time. If I saw her wearing it, I would have noticed the mistake. I interacted with her face to face, name tags out. It is the only time I've ever really felt this feeling of there being a glitch, which I was the only one aware of. I'm sure that woman changed names. Case file 1616. The girl with 2 names. Another case of quantum immortality, I suspect. I just wish it wasn't so disconcerting for people not in the know, or even people in the know. Because no matter what theories we have, we're gonna start doubting our own mind, our own senses. If one event is simply different in your current reality than your own brain tells you it should be. Yeah, you have a theory that fits quantum immortality, but it's still weird. And a name change is a huge difference. Because just think about how much a name will impact your life, how people will treat you in school, how other people, strangers, will treat you. There's no doubt about it, a name has a massive impact on a person's life. It's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. So if you have children, try to really think hard about that name, because it does matter. And I mean really, there's simple examples like Joey. Joey's your buddy, Joey's your pal. This was a Friends episode skit, where Chandler was, maybe not the strongest name, but still, Chandler would be, I think, friendly. And I don't mean to say that a name defines your fate or anything like that, but it will certainly influence you because you're going to be treated differently based on the name, to a certain extent. My name, Paul, I guess it's a softer name, I think, but still positive. I think it's helped me develop a personality that is not malicious, you could say. Not many Pauls are going to be tyrants, I would suspect. Case file number 1617, written by yoursafewordisharder. My entire lifetime was fake. Many years ago, I woke up after what was easily the most vivid and detailed dream I'd ever had. In this dream, my life had simply gone on and on. I got married, moved, changed jobs, had a house, kids, etc. Nothing out of the ordinary. Then suddenly, I woke up and I was back in my small Boston apartment, lying next to my girlfriend. And it was like a large part of my life had never happened. The closest way I can describe it would be the feeling you'd get if you woke up one morning and found yourself wherever you were 15 or 20 years ago. Everyone you'd ever met in those years never existed. Every life achievement you'd had was a lie. Every memory was false, and your entire life had been instantly rewound back to a random moment many years in your past. I was so shocked and traumatized by this that I remember waking up and sobbing uncontrollably for hours, like I was grieving for the death of all my family, which in a way I was. The unexplainably bizarre part to me was how mundane the dream was. Nothing dreamlike or surreal happened. It felt absolutely like real life. The only difference was the timescale. In this dream, the time elapsed was easily at least 15 or 20 years. To this day, I can still recall bits and pieces of the dream, including vague memories of my family's face, and I can start to feel like crying again. And sometimes I can also start to get emotional at the thought that someday I may not remember anything of the dream and all those people and life memories will be gone forever. I'd never had anything like that happen before nor since. But it's still one of the most deeply scarring events that's ever happened to me, and one that I have yet to explain or understand. Case notes are file 1617. My entire life was fake. The most frequent question you must ask yourself all the time is, was any of it real? Was all of it real? Another true life? Maybe, and this is my biggest theory, it was real, and it was memories leaking into your subconscious while you were dreaming, of a real life that you had, a real experience, you could say, from the simulation. So we live, we die, we wake up in the real world, and maybe in the real world it took only an afternoon and we just jump back in. Or maybe it took an hour. It's all back to that Inner Light TNG episode, which is fantastic. And yeah, sure, the mind can process things faster than we can imagine. And if you can interface with it and load a specific program and then suppress memories, well, that takes a lot of doing. But if you could do all that, yeah, could all be a simulation, and we chose a specific scenario. Maybe we chose, for people that are struggling. Maybe they wanted that. Maybe they wanted that hard, brutal experience. And I can believe that. I mean, right now, I'm attracted to games that are very difficult and brutal. And who's to say, maybe in the real world, we're a trillion, quadrillion years into reality, and we're just bored. So we want to experience new things, novel things, even if they're painful. To me, that is one theory that really helps to alleviate the suffering that a lot of people go through in life. To just know that, well, this isn't the end, and to an extent you chose it. Now, just to be clear, this is just a theory. I don't know for sure. It's one that I gravitate very strongly towards. But no matter the theory, the emotions we experience in this reality, simulation or otherwise, are so profound. Well, something like this, if it happened to me, no matter my theories, it would be a gut punch and something that I would cry and sob just like you, no doubt about it. Now, time for the joke of the day. A man walks into a library and orders fish and chips. The librarian says, "This is a library." The man says, "Oh, sorry, I'd like some fish and chips." Yes, just say it in a whisper. That's all that the librarian meant. Imagine if libraries offered food. That is appealing to me because food is everything. Probably wouldn't work because the library is so quiet, you would hear everyone masticate, and you don't want that. The constant mouth noises, I go through great pains to make sure I filter out as much of those as I can in the recording because it's not fun to listen to. No one wants to hear someone eat. No. Actually, no. Some people actually do. It's like ASMR or something. People like listening to people eat. Some people. A small subset of really weird people. I can't connect with that at all. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.